By the final whistle, Barcelona had lost El Clásico 3-1. By Monday morning, the Camp Nou dressing room was divided. By Wednesday's training session, Xavi had to separate two players who'd been inseparable for 3 years. Pedri and Gavi, Barcelona's golden midfield partnership, weren't even looking at each other. But it started with one moment in the 73rd minute, one pass that never came, one decision that everyone in Camp Nou noticed. You ignored me on purpose. You wanted us to lose, just because they chose me over you. Don't forget to subscribe to Elite Ball Legends and like the video for your support. Thank you for subscribing. October in Barcelona carried the weight of history. El Clásico wasn't just a match. It was identity, pride, generations of rivalry condensed into 90 minutes. And this season, the stakes felt higher. Barcelona sat second in La Liga, 2 points behind Real Madrid. This match could define the title race before winter even arrived. Pedri Gonzalez was 22 years old and already Barcelona's heartbeat. 3 seasons of orchestrating play from deep midfield, dictating tempo with passes that seemed to bend time. He was La Masia's perfect product, calm under pressure, elegant in possession, selfless in service. The club had plans for him. Big plans. Contract extension negotiations were happening quietly, numbers that would make him one of the highest paid players in the squad. But nobody knew yet. The club kept these things private until signatures were finalized. Pablo Paez Gavira, Gavi to everyone, was 20 years old and pure Barca DNA. Fire where Pedri was ice. Aggression where Pedri was composure. He'd broken into the first team at 17 and immediately felt like he belonged. 212 tackles this season already, 14 yellow cards, 0 apologies. He played like every match was a war, and he thrived in the chaos. They'd been inseparable since Gavi's debut. Training partners, roommates on away trips, late-night conversations about football philosophy and career dreams. On the pitch, they were telepathic. Pedri's passes always found Gavi's runs. Gavi's pressing always covered Pedri's positioning. Barcelona's future, everyone said. The next Xavi and Iniesta. But football clubs had realities that friendship couldn't change. Barcelona's finances were still damaged from years of mismanagement. Financial fair play restrictions meant careful spending. The club could afford one major contract extension this year. Only one? The board had to choose. They chose Pedri. The decision made sense strategically. Pedri was older, more proven, had interest from Premier League clubs offering insane wages. Barcelona couldn't risk losing him. Gavi would get his extension eventually, next summer, maybe the one after. He was younger, he could wait. That's what the board told themselves. Gavi's agent found out first. A contact inside the club leaked the information in late September. The agent called Gavi immediately, his voice careful but direct. They're prioritizing Pedri's renewal. Yours is delayed indefinitely. Financial reasons. I'm sorry. Gavi sat in his apartment for 2 hours after that call, staring at nothing. He understood the business side. Barcelona was broke, choices had to be made, but understanding didn't make it hurt less. He'd given everything to this club since he was 11 years old, bled Blaugrana, and the club's answer was, wait your turn. What hurt more was Pedri didn't know. Or maybe he did and hadn't said anything. Gavi didn't know which possibility felt worse, betrayal or ignorance. Either way, the distance started there, not dramatic, not obvious. Just small shifts in energy that accumulate until connection becomes performance. Training sessions continued normally on the surface. Pedri and Gavi still partnered in drills, still joked in the dressing room, but Gavi noticed things now. The way Pedri spoke casually about his future at Barcelona, assuming stability. The way journalists asked Pedri about leadership and legacy while asking Gavi about development and patience. The way Xavi gave Pedri more tactical responsibility during matches. Pedri sensed something was different but couldn't name it. Gavi's responses were shorter. His usual intensity in training felt sharper, almost hostile. During a possession drill 3 weeks before El Clásico, Gavi tackled Pedri aggressively, too aggressively for teammates. Pedri laughed it off. Gavi didn't laugh back. You good? Pedri asked after training. Fine, Gavi replied, already walking toward the showers. El Clásico week arrived with the usual media circus. Press conferences, tactical analysis, historical montages. Both teams knew this match could shift everything. Barcelona needed a statement win. Real Madrid wanted to extend their lead and assert dominance early in the season. Xavi named his starting 11 2 days before the match. Pedri and Gavi both started in central midfield as expected. The press loved the narrative. La Masia's Golden Boys against Madrid's Galacticos. Youth versus experience. Barcelona's future leading the charge. But in the dressing room before the match, as Pedri went through his usual pre-game routine, he caught Gavi staring at him from across the room. Not friendly, not even neutral, something cold, something calculating. Pedri looked away first, unsettled but unwilling to create drama before El Clásico. Camp Nou was electric that October evening. 99,000 people creating noise that felt physical, flags covering entire sections, choreographed displays before kickoff. This was football at its most intense, tribal, passionate, unforgiving. The match started at a ferocious pace. Real Madrid pressed high, disrupting Barcelona's build-up play. Barcelona countered with quick combinations through midfield. Pedri controlled the tempo early, spraying passes across the pitch with his usual precision. Gavi harried Madrid's midfielders, winning tackles, driving forward with the ball. To the fans, they looked perfectly synchronized, but players on the pitch noticed. De Jong saw it first. Gavi's runs weren't timed for Pedri's passes anymore. Slightly too early or too late. Easy combinations they had completed thousands of times suddenly felt disjointed. Rafinha gestured for Pedri to play through Gavi on the left. Pedri tried. Gavi's movement wasn't there. Madrid scored first in the 38th minute. Vinicius, cutting inside, curling past Ter Stegen. Camp Nou groaned collectively. Barcelona pushed forward desperately before halftime. Lewandowski equalized in first-half stoppage time with a poacher's finish. 1-1. Everything still possible. Xavi's halftime talk was tactical and direct. Press higher. Find space between Madrid's lines. Use width. Win the midfield battle. He looked at Pedri and Gavi specifically. You two control this, like always, understand? They both nodded. Neither looked at the other. The second half became a tactical chess match. Both teams probing for weaknesses. The intensity increased. Yellow cards accumulated. Every tackle mattered. Every pass carried weight. The crowd sensed the match balanced on a knife's edge. Barcelona took the lead in the 64th minute. Rafinha cutting inside from the right, striking perfectly into the top corner. Camp Nou exploded. 2-1 Barcelona, the title race shifting. Everything Barcelona hoped for, materializing. But Madrid responded within 5 minutes. Bellingham, arriving late in the box, heading past Ter Stegen. 2-2. The momentum swung again, both teams exhausted but pushing. The match could go either way. The 73rd minute arrived with brutal suddenness. Barcelona won possession deep in their half. Pedri collected the ball from Koundé, turned, and surveyed the pitch. Madrid's press was disorganized for 3 seconds, a brief window. Pedri saw it immediately. Gavi was making a run between Madrid's midfield and defense. The pass was obvious. If Pedri played it early, Gavi would have space to drive forward, numerical advantage, Barcelona's attack surging. It was the pass they'd completed hundreds of times. Muscle memory, telepathy. Pedri played the pass. Weight perfect, timing perfect. But Gavi didn't accelerate into the space. He slowed down slightly, imperceptibly to most, but Pedri saw it. The pass reached Gavi a second late because Gavi made sure it did. Modric intercepted easily. Madrid countered immediately. Vinicius sprinting down the left. Barcelona's defense scrambling back. Camavinga playing a through ball. Rodrigo finishing clinically. 3-2 Madrid. Camp Nou fell silent, the title race shifting the other way. Pedri stood in midfield, hands on hips, staring at Gavi. Gavi walked back toward position, expressionless, avoiding everyone's eyes. Xavi screamed instructions from the touchline, but his face showed confusion. That pass should have worked. That combination was automatic. The final 15 minutes felt desperate. Barcelona threw everyone forward. Real Madrid defended with organization and threatened on counters. Barcelona created half chances, but nothing clear. The final whistle came like a judgment. 3-1 Real Madrid. 2 points became 5. The title race damaged before November. The dressing room afterward felt like a tomb. Players sat in their spots, processing defeat, scrolling phones showing media reactions already declaring Madrid favorites for La Liga. Xavi tried to rally them with words about character and recovery, but exhaustion and disappointment dulled everything. Pedri sat staring at his locker, replaying that 73rd minute moment in his mind. He knew what he saw. Gavi had pulled out of the run, deliberately. The pass was perfect. Gavi made sure it wasn't completed. Across the dressing room, Gavi showered quickly and dressed in silence. Other players tried to console him. Tackles won, effort given, but he barely responded. He just wanted to leave. As players filtered out toward the team bus, Pedri caught Gavi in the corridor outside the medical room. Empty space, no teammates, just them. "What happened on that pass?" Pedri asked quietly. Gavi stopped walking but didn't turn around. "What pass?" "The 73rd minute. I played it perfectly. You slowed down." "I didn't see the space in time." "Bullshit. We've made that pass 1,000 times. You saw it. You chose not to run." Gavi turned slowly, his face unreadable. "Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I'm not as good as you. Maybe that's why the club chose you over me." The words hung in the air between them. Pedri's expression changed, confusion, then realization, then something close to pain. "You know," Pedri said softly, "about the contract." "Of course I know. Everyone knows. Except apparently me, until my agent told me." "Were you ever going to tell me, your best friend? Or were you just going to let me find out when they announced your big renewal?" "I didn't know how." "You didn't know how to tell me the club picked you and told me to wait, that I'm second choice, that after everything I've given to this club, I'm worth less than you." It's not like that, Gavi. It's finances, it's timing. It means exactly that. And you know what? Fine. You're the chosen one. Congrats. But don't expect me to keep setting you up for glory when the club made it clear who they value more. Pedri stepped closer, anger replacing confusion. "You sabotaged that pass on purpose. You let Madrid score because you're bitter. You cost us El Clásico because of your ego." "My ego? This coming from the guy who's getting paid millions while I'm told to be patient? You think you're better than me? You think you deserve it more? I think I don't sabotage my own team because I'm jealous." The corridor went silent, both players staring at each other. 3 years of friendship cracking down the middle. Other players appeared at the end of the corridor. Ter Stegen, De Jong, Araujo, drawn by raised voices. "You ignored me on purpose," Pedri continued, voice shaking slightly. "You wanted us to lose, just because they chose me over you. Just because you're hurt, you hurt all of us. That's not what Barcelona means. That's not what teammates do." Gavi's jaw clenched. For a moment he looked like he might cry or might throw a punch. Neither emotion won. He just turned and walked away, leaving Pedri standing alone in the corridor as teammates awkwardly pretended they hadn't witnessed everything. The days after felt impossible. Training sessions became exercises in avoidance. Pedri and Gavi were never paired in drills. When forced to interact tactically, their communication was minimal, functional, but cold. The entire squad felt the tension. De Jong tried to mediate. Ter Stegen spoke to both separately. Even Busquets, recently retired, called Xavi asking what was happening to his former midfield heirs. Xavi called them both into his office on Wednesday. They sat on opposite ends of the couch, the same couch where they'd celebrated contract signings and match victories together. "This ends today," Xavi said, standing against his desk. "I don't care what happened. I don't care who said what. This stops now. We have Sevilla this weekend, then Champions League. I need both of you. Barcelona needs both of you. But not like this." Neither player spoke. "Gavi, I know about the contract situation. I know you're frustrated. But that pass, I've watched it 50 times. You pulled out of that run. Did you do it deliberately?" Gavi stared at the floor. Silence stretched. Finally, barely audible. "Yes." Pedri's head snapped toward him, shock and anger mixing. "Why?" Xavi asked, voice calm but firm. "Because I'm tired of being second. Tired of doing everything right and still being told to wait. Tired of watching everyone treat Pedri like he's untouchable while I'm just expendable." "So you hurt the team? You hurt Barcelona?" "I hurt myself most," Gavi said, voice breaking slightly. "I know that. I cost us the Clásico. I betrayed everything I believe in. But in that moment, I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't keep pretending everything was fine when it wasn't." Xavi looked at Pedri. "And you? You didn't tell him about your contract extension?" "I didn't know how," Pedri admitted. "Every time I tried to bring it up, it felt wrong, like I was bragging. or apologizing for something I didn't do. The club chose me. I didn't ask them to choose, but I also didn't want to rub it in Gavi's face. So you said nothing, and the silence became poison. Both players sat with that truth. Here's what's going to happen, Xavi continued. First, Gavi, you're going to apologize to this team, every player, for sabotaging that pass, for putting your hurt above their effort. Second, Pedri, you're going to stop acting like your contract extension is something to hide. You earned it, own it, but also recognize that Gavi's hurt is real, even if the club's decision was practical. Third, both of you are going to figure out how to exist on the same pitch again, because I can't build this team around two players who hate each other. I don't hate him, Pedri said quietly. I don't hate you either, Gavi admitted, still not looking at Pedri. I hate that they chose. I hate that we're being forced to compete when we should be partners. Then stop competing, Xavi said simply. Be partners again, or at least try. The meeting ended without resolution. Not forgiveness, not reconciliation, just acknowledgement. Gavi did apologize to the team the next day. Short, direct, no excuses. Most players accepted it with professional nods. Some, Araujo, Ter Stegen, embraced him afterward. Others kept their distance. The match against Sevilla that weekend felt like a test. Xavi started both Pedri and Gavi, gambling that they could function professionally even if not personally. For 60 minutes they were mechanical, passes completed, movements functional, but no magic. The connection that made them special was absent. Then, in the 68th minute, Gavi won a tackle in midfield and immediately looked for Pedri. Old instinct, muscle memory. Pedri was already moving into space, anticipating. The pass came. Weight good, timing decent. Pedri controlled, drove forward, played Lewandowski through. Goal, 2-0 Barcelona. Gavi didn't celebrate dramatically, just jogged back to position. But Pedri ran to him, grabbed his shoulders, forced eye contact. Good pass. Gavi nodded. Almost imperceptible. Good movement. It wasn't forgiveness, it wasn't friendship restored, but it was acknowledgement that they could still do this, play football together, serve something larger than their hurt. Over the next month, they rebuilt. Not quickly, not smoothly, but gradually. Conversations and training stayed professional. Passes between them regained accuracy. The telepathy remained gone, maybe permanently, but competence returned. Barcelona's form improved. 4 wins in 5 matches, the title race still alive. The breakthrough came unexpectedly in December during a Champions League match against Inter Milan. Tied 1-1 in the 89th minute, Barcelona desperate for the winner to guarantee knockout stage qualification. Pedri collected the ball deep, saw space, drove forward. Gavi made a run to his left, the same run from El Clásico, the same space, the same moment. Pedri hesitated, the memory of October flooding back. But this time, Gavi didn't slow down. He accelerated hard, demanding the ball, demanding trust. Pedri played it. Perfect weight, perfect timing. Gavi collected, drove into the box, finished past the goalkeeper. 2-1 Barcelona. Gavi turned and sprinted toward Pedri without thinking. They collided in an embrace that looked almost desperate. Two players who'd lost something trying to find their way back. The team piled on, but for those few seconds, it was just them, holding each other, acknowledging that the road back from betrayal was long but possible. In the dressing room after, as celebration raged around them, Pedri found Gavi by the showers. I should have told you, Pedri said. About the contract, I was a coward. I knew it would hurt you, so I said nothing. That was worse. Gavi nodded slowly. And I shouldn't have sabotaged that pass, even if I was hurt, even if everything felt unfair. I betrayed the shirt. I betrayed you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. They stood there, water running in the background, music playing from speakers, teammates laughing, all the noise of victory surrounding their quiet moment. Are we okay? Pedri asked. I don't know, Gavi answered honestly. Maybe not like before. Maybe we can't go back to that, but maybe we can be something different. Still partners, still teammates, just different. Different works. They didn't embrace again, didn't make grand declarations, just nodded and returned to the celebration, carrying something fragile but real between them. Barcelona didn't win La Liga that season. Real Madrid's early lead proved too much. But Pedri and Gavi finished the campaign with their partnership rebuilt. Not the same as before, scarred by October's betrayal, but functional and occasionally brilliant. They learned to carry their hurt without weaponizing it, learned that friendship could survive damage if both people chose repair over resentment. The following summer, Barcelona finally offered Gavi his contract extension, good terms, fair wages, recognition of his value. He signed it with Pedri standing beside him at the press conference, both of them smiling, genuine but complicated smiles that acknowledged everything they'd survived. Years later, when journalists asked about their relationship, both players gave similar answers. We went through something difficult. We hurt each other. But we came back. That's what makes us stronger than before. Not perfect, just stronger. El Clásico still haunted Gavi sometimes. The 73rd minute pass that he sabotaged. The moment he chose hurt over team. But it also taught him something essential. That being second choice didn't make him second best. That his value wasn't determined by contract order or club politics. That he could survive rejection and rebuild himself. And Pedri learned too. That silence wasn't protection. That being chosen carried responsibility to those not chosen. That friendship required honesty, even when honesty hurt. They played together for Barcelona for another 6 seasons after that October, won 3 league titles, won Champions League, created hundreds of goals together. The magic never fully returned to what it was. October 2024 changed them permanently. But what replaced it was perhaps more valuable. Partnership built not on effortless connection, but on conscious choice. Every pass between them, after El Clásico, was an act of will, an affirmation that they chose each other even when circumstances tried to divide them. And in the end, that choice, renewed daily despite scars, proved stronger than the easy friendship of youth, because easy breaks under pressure, but rebuilt endures.